Okay, what's going on, guys? Yeah, it looks like it wants to rain. It doesn't matter. I got my Parker, and everything like that. I'm gonna head to the outside range, and I drop about. I got about 60 rounds, but this is just gonna be solely for sighting and wrist arm control. Um, but regardless of that, um, obviously this is for my YouTube channel. I'm amazed at these Negroes or these brothers. I detest Negro like I detest the word Mexican. Mexicano, Taino. I respect them because I got many brothers who are of the Spanish persuasion, and I know a few who served with me who know of their actual indigenous roots, which allows them to be indigenous regardless. And then there are those who were Spaniards who were defeated, back turned on Spain when the Zionists took over the Vatican long before they became Zionists, long before the FCR and all that other stuff, CFR. What amazes me is the people who don't like knowing the history. And with so much going on in the last 20, 30 years, especially with the CIA's involvement and FBI's involvement, which are part of the heads of the snake. And there's good people that work there. I know a couple, and one who retired, and we used to have talks over in New York at an Irish bar. We used to sit up in the corner, and he used to just give me all kind of information. Now, I don't know if he's still alive or not, but you know how it goes. My world travels. Thank goodness they were in the 80s when there were still a lot of older folks who were around, actually around World War One and World War Two, Korea and Vietnam. And they love, and especially Edinburgh, Scotland, this little dive, this pub. They love me. We're talking about like 70, 80-year-old, above 33rd degree master men. They were, and the fact that I told them I was Indian, and because when I was in France, Khan's French, I went to this little restaurant. It was Moroccan and French owned, like both of the same kind of. And I remember this one guy coming up to me, and I wanted wine, and I had a couple of books, and he said, read them. Says, "So you Indian or you African?" I said, "I'm Indian," and he's like, and I think I was like around 20, 21 years old, 22 years old. I'm 54 now. I'll be 55 and here in a few days. Um, and I got to drink some very expensive wine on the house, and a friend of mine who didn't say nothing. He always had tea and cheese was with me. Big, tall, 6'2", 6'3". Used to bump his head on the knee knockers on the ships and the carrier. We had emergencies. We had to do, Dawn X or whatever the frick. All those little exercises we had to do. Ensure not the sinking of the ship, battle station manual, blah blah blah. And anyway, CBU, whatever. And he started speaking in his tent. And let me tell you, if you want to talk about having a blast, that was the only I never believed in paying for poontang. I like to stay with families when I travel. That was the first time this big dark skinned Moroccan with the straightest, silkiest, not permed hair. She was every bit of up. At that time, I was 5 foot. I had just made 5 foot nine and a half. 25 years old, I actually grew up. I was 5'10". They measured me like every every day for a week, and I'm 5'10" and a half now. So I don't even want to get into that. I have scoliosis, so um, since I was a child, but went through the military with scoliosis. You're not supposed to have it. No flat feet. Some people medical because realize that when they go and try for something now. Oh wow, this guy's got flat feet. Well, he's gonna serve 8 years. Oh, smack, or 6 years, and bam, you know. um, let me see. Restart. Okay. All right. Automatic. I'm doing a cleanse on my laptop, my file. Um, and that was the first time I think I made love. Being honest, I'm serious. She wanted my baby so bad. I don't know if she ever had one, but I gave her every seed I had that moment about 12 times in that 3 day period. Seriously. I'm not here to be all nasty. This is not for children, okay? That part. I could go back now on my phone. I have the capability where I can actually edit material. I'm updating my laptop, as you see, um, so that way I can take care of that. um, and do it on there. But it amazes me with all these brothers who run around. I got the big house. Yeah, look at me, grills in their mouth, and they're doing for the community. That's wonderful. What troubles me is to put that image out there that you have to have a big house and all this currency. They're about to drop the roof on that, but they're gonna do that, right? Anyway, I'd prefer to live in a damn RV, small home. Seriously, with solar panels. Ordered a few, $50, $55 solar panels. I'm not gonna get into the gigawatts, the converters on Walmart. I don't like Chinese made stuff. Nothing against my brothers in Hong Kong, but mainland, a lot of them are reared and conditioned ignorantly, like most of our people here. Um, I truly would love to see people, because the information is still here, get up off their behinds and apply, not based on statistics, apply themselves for order instead of the chaos they're in, and take the time to see original manuscripts, the old gazettes from the 1800s, out of Virginia, Carolinas, Georgia, the old newspaper articles, and read the literature, because it tells you exactly who you are. I don't care if you have to pull up on microfiche, or the library, or the old newspapers, or how to go beyond Google and get this information, because Google is so biased, like Snopes and fact checkers, independent fact checkers, just full of it. And you need to know who run them and who backs them and who pays for them. And that's all I can say to that. Now, other than that, women, we need y'all more than our sisters. And it doesn't matter what crayon color you want to believe you are. I am so done, because before Dr. Walter Plecker and Margaret Singer and before all those idiots, when the CFR was established by Morgan, Rothschild, and those idiots, integration, there was no such thing as integration or segregation. We all got along, and we were fighting because it was our land, and a lot of things were being done that shouldn't have been done. We had the coup d'etat of the Republican Party. They tried to say it was 60% Negro. It was the majority of us. We created it. My father's side, the Chickasaw, are the ones who originally wrote the Constitution as we know it, the organic one. When I went to join the military, it was for or of, I was like, for. Fuck, I want to be of something, like I'm some foreign, And I knew these things because I was told by Vietnam veteran brothers who wasn't with all that black power shit and all that bullcrap, because they grew up one time when you used to call them black, they'd beat you down. It's amazing how we're easily swapped. And just because the Black Panther Party created black power, it was behind the moniker of an indigenous animal. We call animal our four-legged brothers and sisters, the jaguar. And we have a lot of pan fries. They're dipped and fried, just like lying their hair, unnatural. And they still want to run around because it's about the almighty dollar. Well, they're not doing nothing for the people. And anybody saying Geechee is African, you are an idiot. You don't know nothing. You're so conditioned. But I'm going to the church. I'm going to Beth Israel. I'm going to Baptist, Southern Baptist. You sound stupid. You are totally conditioned, and war brings that upon you. We're fucking Indians. No disrespect to my Mongolian brothers and sisters who have some of our genealogy. Thank goodness I met a couple of Navajos who were decent and humane enough to show me family pictures that most, with their racist concepts and their foolish indoctrination, would never do. But teach their children to hate because they beat their wives and everything else. As if we were the problem. The most accepting and loving people have now become their own worst enemies. It's because you was in a gang, or you this, that, and the other. Thank goodness for the ones who woke up. But if you don't take a good long look in the mirror and see who you are, what? Am I supposed to accept you because your narrative is supposed to be the answer, the remedy, the solution, when you haven't put forth one good foot, and all you've been doing is reading Negroes and making them rich who don't care about whether you know who you are or not. No, I'm a redhead. You goddamn right. Oh well. I'm swarthy. Absolutely handsome. I don't care what anybody says. I know this. We age fine like wine. You know what I'm saying? But it would be a magnificent thing to see all our people come back together. Because, who writes the narrative? The ones who think they won. How do you win when you didn't win nothing? You win by deception, by lies, because you take it upon yourself to employ all your to create an economy and employ all your deception into controlling the narrative. That's how you win. That's not a win, regardless of what currency is put in other ways to protect those lies. And the idiots who back it, we can't even say they're like, it's like the government are worse than the terrible twos. And those terrible twos aren't even bad. That's breaking the foundation of order and further introducing our children into chaos. Otherwise, it wouldn't be terrible two. It'd be nothing but love. You can see that in certain islands with the children and everything else. Except for here, we reward them on fake holidays and this, that, and other. They give them all these gifts. It's like the War of 11, the 333rd. Who do you think murdered them? I'm going to leave that right there. And now the narrative is they were African Americans. We used to be Afro Americans because I know some of the family. And some of the families of those people, and they know they're Indian. You see, who's always doing the shows, Nova and all these Animal Planet, all this other stuff, millions of years, bullshit. But if you look back at the last 60 years and look at topography, how they've changed from earthquakes and everything else. They have a cliff that pops up in 30 minutes at 400 feet. Islands that completely become submerged and new islands that pop up within hours and days. And they look just like the millions of years, giving up a vast amount of information that wasn't once, viable to those people who like to go and do the researches and stuff. I would love to see people actually take the time to manage some truth instead of like vehicular homicide, holding on to a narrative that further removes them from the truth of who you are. And for you people calling yourself blacks, you sound real stupid. It's not because I know who I am. It's because you don't even understand law and the basic dichotomy of the narrative written to rob you of land. Look at the Chinese believe they're buying our land, building properties and stuff. First of all, that's all superficial and surface. How can you buy our land with a debt that is empty because of the Zionists who created, the banking system to put themselves in a position? And it's like the Department of Justice. What justice? What justice? They could stop 99.8%, 5% of all the crap that's going on. But because they're collaborators and they're corrupt and they're part of that CFR, nobody wants to see that because you don't have a clue. Because you refuse to study and become self-reliant to become a nation again, a good, decent family, become a tribe and a nation. You want to believe in everything that they've disposed to you, and those sorry colored folks who think that's to benefit them, and they don't understand that does not benefit them. They're their own destruction. I'm like, if you're suicide, hey man, do us a favor. Don't stop wasting our time. Stop being a problem and a cog in a wheel that don't spin, have gears, have teeth on it to help the gears spin. You're just buffering right there, just doing nothing, accomplishing, not connecting to Wi-Fi, anything, just spinning. While those of us with teeth are attempting to reach out to those other gears so we can keep the mechanism rolling right, be in order again, which isn't comprised. Order is not comprised of anything. It speaks for itself. It doesn't have a label. I don't even like calling it order. It's truth and balance and nurturing and everything else, which we have shied further from. And some people say, well, how where's your references and resources? Motherfuckers, we all got it from oral. My great-grandmother made sure I knew some things, just like my uncle, Gary Lee, the oldest one. And I was supposed to be dead, murdered by my family relatives? Want me aborted? What kind of sickness is that? Because they had hid from who they were and became very ignorant. Now do you see? Do you understand? And they create a system to make you wards. When you're already a ward, they think they own you. When the system is felonious. First of all, my police brothers and sisters out there, Your laws are for people that work for the fucking government and to make sure that we are protected and safe from all institutions, vehicles working and driving a currency, and structures are sound, and to inform us when there's a problem that we divert and travel elsewhere. Your car ain't registered. You got your insurance and license. Motherfucker, we don't need them. And if we get them the first time we find out, we can remove it. We don't need some fake ass judge who's propped up with all this six figures and everything else, who's a standing trustee who's supposed to have a checkbook in their fucking pocket. Or an esquire. I respect a lot of lawyers out there study law, but it's corrupt. To be sitting in Brooklyn at a pub not that far from the courthouse, and to hear it late at night on a Friday or Saturday night, lawyers talking drunk, and to listen to how they bargain in people's lives and they neither one of them really care. You think I'm supposed to, you believe in this, I'm supposed to respect that as if it's responsible? What is wrong with you people? Well, wake up. That's all. And I'm talking about that old fashioned become a woke generation. See how they take our stuff and then they pervert it? Wasn't nobody part of no woke nothing. Now you got all these Pelicans and all these officials and all the woke something. It went from millennial to this to cancel culture, all with a matter of friggin' in a year, like back to back to back. Like, who does that? Because we're starting to get ahead? Man, what they're going to use next? We created hip hop and the world loves us and we love them who were partaking in it. But then I met some people who are just as arrogant and ignorant who are partaking in it, don't even understand the origin of it. I'm like, holy shit. But mad script and love to those who do. Because that's all we ever done. He didn't even try to say, oh yeah, Native Americans created jazz. You goddamn right we did. I did corn stomp, and motherfuckers look at me like I was crazy. People weren't wasting their beautiful energy in these churches when they could be out there and with their tribe and everything else culturally, shaking and doing everything else, which is ghost dancing. But you don't even know that because you're so far separated from it. And save your Jesus. Keep your Jesus to yourself. Not to knock your own religions, but in our culture and where it came from and where it's scripted, and me going overseas in Italy and the center and learning so much, dude, if you want to hold on to that and you don't want to accept reason and rational disputes, go right ahead. I'm not here to argue though. That could be another video. We could bring some people live on. But it's funny how King James came here to run during the Renaissance period when they was murdering everybody, because I've been to Edinburgh, Scotland. He ain't the motherfucker he ain't the individual we saw. I'm not here to be discussing in my language. I must work on that. And when I saw what he looked like, and the fact he was murdered, whispered about, when I was there, I thought he was from Great Britain. This Negro was a Scot, swarthy. The original people, like the Twa in Ireland, in Germany, the original people, later to become Moors, blah, 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 blah. All that up there in so-called Europe is North Africa, if you want to point in a direction. For those who believe the earth is round, more power to you. That's called a golf power fist, because, okay. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not even getting to the mathematics of that, because then I got to, even in the right stuff, you got to dismiss all the errors, and then you start understanding and seeing, yeah, the sun is 96.3 million miles. We was able to do it by doing this. Yeah, bull. But that's why I love being an artist. I can tell the difference when I'm peeking at a cloud and the sun's peering through it and throwing off rays, and I'm like, wait a minute. 96, and we're supposed to be fit how many of these Earths into the sun, and we got these rays coming through a certain point while I'm driving on a major highway, and I'm sitting there going, now how is that possible? The sun's supposed to be 96.3 million miles away, and the circumference of my vision, I'm just giving it to you real simple, real quick, because I couldn't hold back on this. And our ancestors knew that it wasn't that far away, and we know that there's not one sun. We know that there's so much more in our stories, whether it be the singing grass, the whispering leaves, and the dancing suns and dancing moon, the ocean, how it calls to us, and everything else. It amazes me that people don't know these truths, But hey, That should be another story because I can go on hours for that. But I want to keep this kind of short. I'm at 19 minutes. Um, People are going to argue, and which is pretty terrible in its own state of ideology or opinions or whatever. It'd be beautiful to see people actually knowing. Just order is always calling out to you like the ocean, like the rivers, like the lakes, the streams. And I'm gonna get into that on another video. I actually have one I talk about that. Them building at certain points of the rivers and creating dams just to toxify the waters and kill off certain what they call weeds, which are very good. We utilize as herbs and spices and healing properties. But that's another part. They'll make sure we're weak. We don't live as long. Hell, they came here looking for the fountain of youth. Why do you think? And was it on Mongolians? Well, it's funny how the second great grand nephew of Genghis Khan, both of them, one became of the Mohammedan movement, the other one of Catholicism, and they were utilized to come here and conquer the land, and we whooped their ass right off the back. Then the Dutch pilgrims, who would later become the Jews in the 1600s, like the Japanese in the 1600s, the Chinese, when they went over there and during the Boxer Rebellion and the wars and the British and all them coming over there, expelled and started murdering all the indigenous people, just like when they killed Abe Lincoln, the real one, and Nicholas R. V during the same week, so they can establish this Federal Reserve. To think anything different, well, go back to World War One. And it's funny how when you see movies, you never see the indigenous people of the land found in Georgia, so-called Georgia, before it was Georgia, the Abkhazarians, who the Jews took their name from before they decided to get rid of them. And you think they ain't trying that here? But we're too magic. For those who like that word magic. Pay attention. That's all I'm going to say. All right? Know who you are. All right? Listen, it's a beautiful thing. And a lot of our younger generation are growing up, and they don't have a clue as to who they are, and they believe in what's been given to them, what's been scripted, the pure lie. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, all right? I got plenty of videos to upload, and I will. Once this is done, I'm going to be using my laptop. It's clearing, it's going to take 24 hours. It's that deep. I haven't used that for a little bit. But you guys have a wonderful day, and look, drop your arguments, drop your beliefs, drop the books and your resources and references, okay? I would love to see them, probably a number of other people. And look, in the meantime, like I said in the beginning, but it's not the grandiose thing of me, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell. I will be doing a lot of uploads. I'm getting tired of Facebook, I'm tired of Instagram, and they own all of it, but I'd rather do it here. I don't want to demonize and talk so bad about the system. I want you to find out for yourself. I just want to point out things that are facts or close to facts, and then you do the referencing, the sourcing out, and the material work. You put the boots on the ground. And for you veterans to join the police department, it's sad that they pick a lot of you who would rather harm people, and you work side by side a lot of us vets, and then you want to come back and be racist and this and another. There ain't no such racism. Racists are the dumbest people walking the planet, the terra firma. And though they are small in number, they're large in ignorance as far as the people of all crayon colors, social, economic statuses, this, that, and other. To have that, well, they had to establish a false white superiority in order to moniker some kind of control. And that control is broken. All right? So the dumbest people walking the planet right now are racist. They're the dumbest people. And they don't even know who put them in that position. And they can't even stand the people who got them acting the way they do. They are so stupid. So, mad respect and love to everybody. Yeah. Holler at y'all later.